Along the boards, being forechecked, and in behind the net it goes to David Park. Park trying to flip it into the corner, intercepted there, but around the horn it goes. Park trying to tie up his man. Coming after it is to Brook. He looks to center, and jumping out and grabbing it is Nathaniel Spatafor, who gets the start tonight.
This is Nathaniel's seventh start of the year, coming in with a 3.60 goals against average. Nathaniel has given up 18 goals and 129 shots.
Face-off will come inside Massena territory. Off the draw, the puck in the corner as they battle for it. Raiders start to move it ahead, and it just trickles out to center ice. Back inside the zone it goes. After it is Brian Carroll. Carroll with the puck, flips it on the boards, goes to Park. Park, backhand pass, and up comes Massena. Long head man, intercepted, and right back the other way. It's Chris Wells, but offsides as a couple of his forwards got caught inside the zone.
Nice job by defenseman Chris Wells reading that long cross-ice pass. The Raiders coming out of their zone, but he stepped up and intercepted that pass, and as you mentioned, would have been a good scoring odd man rush for the Knights, but one of his line mates offside just by a foot.
Face-off will move just outside Matt Robidoux line out for Massena. He wins the draw. Trying to move it ahead. Here's Robidoux with it. Poke checked away. Trickles to the blue line. Mankeys to Robidoux. Here's Matt across the blue line. Poked away. Mankeys can't keep it in as it's poked away by Dragoon. Puck dumped deep in Massena line. That's going to be an icing against the Red Raiders, and we'll have a face-off back inside Seton Catholic territory.
Jerry, I'm not sure these combinations for the Seton Catholic Knights are the same ones that Coach Gary Ryan gave us before the game, so maybe we'll have a little problems picking up the forward combinations. But face-off deep in the Seton Catholic end to the right of goaltender Jason Leclerc.
Mankeys will take the draw for Massena. Mankeys facing off against Barkham. Puck comes back to the blue line, kept in at the point by the Raiders. Now it's poke check back out to center ice. Smith bangs it ahead, deep in Seton territory. Racing back after it, Matt Ryan. Ryan back there with Luckin. The puck along the boards. It comes to Robidoux. He can't find it. Back to the point. Smith takes a whack at it right on, and the save is made by Jason Leclerc, and he's going to hold on for the faceoff.
Mentioned that first game back in Massena, just dominated by the Raiders, but Seton Catholic led with just, I think, about 5 minutes, almost 5 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third period, up by 2 goals. Coach Ed Latham called a timeout, and right after that, Matt Robidoux got a quick goal in 14 seconds, and then Tad Ingstrom tied it up at about a minute 48 later.
Robidoux against Pasino. Mark Pasino, you might remember the name. We talked about him before. He played his hockey for Norwood Norfolk last year, but he's at Seton Catholic this year. Wood with it. He backhands it back into the Seton zone for Massena. Kept in at the point, Robidoux. Robidoux pokes it in front of the net, but it's intercepted there by Matt Ryan. Ryan tries to move it out of the zone. Off the boards, down the ice it goes. We're just underway here. No score in the hockey game. We played just over a minute, and there's going to be an icing call against Seton Catholic.
One change I do notice, last time, Pasno, Adams, and Trout, that combination, they got 7 of the 8 Seton Catholic points down in Massena, and he's broken that line up. I think Adams and Pasno are playing together, but Trout's up on that first unit.
Off the face-off, puck in the corner. Seton Catholic zone, stolen in front of the net. Here's the shot. Nice save. As a good chance for Robbie Whitcup, but a good save by Jason Leclerc. Whitcup didn't get a lot of it, but he did get a good shot. Back the other way, here comes Seth Adams. Adams, his shot right on, and Spatafor will hold on for the face-off.
Great scoring opportunity for the Raiders. Robbie Whitcup stealing the puck to the right of Jason Leclerc behind the goal line and walked right out in front, and just as he got set to trigger, it kind of rolled off his end of his blade. He didn't get a lot on it, but Jason Leclerc was able to come across and make the save.
Pasino against Whitcup, this time in the Massena zone. Off the draw, the puck sits side of the net. Picked up on the Massena defense, Francia. He'll go on the other side. They move it to the blue line, kept in at the point. Dumped right in behind again. Francia trying to race after it. The puck bounces free, in behind the net. Whitcup, where is it? He doesn't know. Now he pokes it free, and the puck comes in the corner. Chris Levine picks it up, trying to flip it out. Pasino steals, steps by the check. It squirts in front, and the Raiders are going to knock it away, and back out comes Kevin Horan. Horan dishing it off to Levine. Chris a little bit too far. Following up was Whitcup. He gets right down the middle of the shot. He fires it up over the net. 2 great chances for Whitcup on the shift. Back to the point. Horan fakes the shot, flips it in the corner. Puck bounces in. Brown looking for it, but can't come up with it as Mac Dixon does. Clears it to the blue line. Out to center ice. It goes by Francia, by everybody, and back inside Massena territory. Raiders move it ahead. Deflected by Rochford. Back inside the zone it comes. In behind the net, picked up by Chris Wells, the defenseman for Seton. He rounds the boards with it to the blue line. Kept in at the point by Park. Park trying to pinch in. He gets a piece of it, poked away, back to the other point. Here's another shot knocked down in front. Rochford shot, save made. The puck goes in behind. A nice save by Jason Leclerc. Puck in behind. Now it's Engstrom with it. Engstrom battling for it in the corner, poked away, comes back to the blue line, and here come the Knights back the other way. Jason Terry, shot from center ice. The save is made by Spatafor. David Park picking up the loose puck. Ahead it goes as he tries to clear it to Rochford. Now Paul picks it up, flips to Engstrom. Engstrom can't get it. It goes to Wells, to the Massena line. Brian Carroll there for the Raiders, circling back in his own end. Looks up ice. He's got a man breaking. Engstrom. Tad lost it off the end of his skate, but leaves it. Here comes Michaud, knocked away from him at the last second as the Raiders in the middle of a line change. Puck comes to the Massena line, poke checked ahead. Rochford picks it up again. He'll just try to shovel it ahead, knocked away back to the Massena line again. Brian Carroll is there to pick it up. Here's Carroll. Bangs it ahead, intercepted, knocked right back inside Massena territory. Carroll takes a whack at it again, still doesn't clear it. Dumped back in the corner, Carroll after it. Brian will skate along the boards. He'll circle back in behind his own net. Brian Carroll for Massena. Backhand pass on the wing. Raiders try to clear the zone. They do. There's a foot race for the puck. Engstrom trying to poke it ahead. It's knocked away nicely by the defenseman Chris Wells, who makes a good play. Puck to the blue line. Smith can't keep it in. Right back come the Knights. It's Barkham with it. Knocked away along the boards. Barkham circles back, trying to flip it ahead. Intercepted. Here comes Mankies from Massena across the blue line. Mankies in on the off wing, trying to center it. Robidoux. No, that was Job going for the net. Couldn't quite catch up with it. Now comes to Mankies, side of the net. Mankies with it. He'll drop it in behind. Back checking to pick it up, though, is Jason Dubray. Dubray flips it around the boards, and the Knights move it ahead. Still no score in the game. On the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard, 0-0 Mankies. Drop pass to Job. Job just barges his way through. The puck gets away from him. In behind the net, it's Matt Ryan, the coach's son, picking up the puck, flipping it along the boards, and Pazino circles back, has it knocked away by Mankies. Here's Mankies in the corner. Ryan takes him out of the play. Pazino picks it up, flips it along the boards to the blue line, and out to center ice. Dump back in the Massena zone. Pazino racing for it. Pazino and Wood. Wood takes him into the boards, and Steve Smith comes and picks up the loose puck. Smith flipping it ahead on the wing. Raiders breaking right back out again. Headman to Robidoux. Robidoux trying to split the D. He's by the D. Here's Robidoux in front. Gets a shot off. The save made. And the rebound cleared out to the blue line. Here's Pazino down the ice 2-on-2 with Roach. Pazino. Drop pass to the trailer. Here's the shot. Save made by goaltender Spatafor. Nice play by the Seton Catholic Knights. Puck in the corner. Back to the blue line. Raiders look to clear, and they do. Here comes Massena's Horan, flipping it ahead. There's going to be a penalty on the Knights, and I think Pazino's going to get the gate for hooking.
Well, they dodged a penalty just prior to that when I think it was number 8, Jason Dubray, had Matt Robidoux all tied up as Robidoux took a great lead pass from Steve Mankies and had a clear breakaway, and Dubray caught him from behind and put the hook on him, grab, but they didn't call anything. But Knights are going to pick up a penalty here with a lot of fast-paced action on fast ice out there, Jerry. Cold night in Plattsburgh, a cold night in the arena, and I'll tell you, those two clubs are not cold. They're up and down, and Raiders had a great scoring opportunity, the best opportunity just prior to about 2 minutes ago when Robbie Whitcup was set up by Chris Levine. Levine down that right side, great slot pass, and Whitcup picked it up and walked right in and fired it over the top of goaltender Leclerc.
Off the face-off, David Park. Raiders on the power play. Breaking in, poke checked away, comes back to Mankies. He'll have to drop it to Park. Goes back to Mankies along the boards. Aggressive penalty kill here to start with for the Seton Catholic Knights. They dump it in the zone. Flipped along the boards to the blue line, not out. Kept in there. Robidoux back to the point. Controlled. Engstrom the Park. Goes to Robidoux. Robidoux skates in front. Steps in front. Robidoux. Oh, and a good save made by Leclerc. Either that or Robidoux lost it off the end of his stick. I think Leclerc got a piece of it. Now Carroll, center ice. Trying to flip it to Robidoux. He didn't get a stick on it. Puck cleared out to center ice. Great opportunity for Massena on the power play. Raiders break down the ice, and that's going to be an icing call as they try to get a breaking forward with 46 seconds left in the man advantage.
Oh, the Raiders must feel snake-bitten against the goaltender of the Seton Catholic Knights. We saw what they did down in Massena, but now Jason Leclerc just simply robbed Matt Robidoux. Great pass from David Park. Engstrom on the left point slid over to Park, and he threw a diagonal pass down to the left circle to Robidoux, and he walked right in and just was robbed by goaltender Jason Leclerc.
Brandon Barkham will face off against Robidoux. Robidoux wins the draw, comes back to Engstrom in behind the net, circles, as the Knights put a pretty aggressive forecheck on this penalty kill. David Park will move it out to center ice. He's going to lug it down the ice. Here's Park trying to drop it back to the point, gets tied up, then flips it in behind. After it there is Chris Wells. Brian Carroll pinches in, can't come up with it. Wells bangs it to the blue line, kept in, no, it bounces out to center ice. Park after it. Park flips it ahead for Robidoux. Robidoux picks it up, knocked away. Comes to the Massena blue line, dumped down the ice, and that's just about going to take care of the power play. Raiders with a good opportunity early, and then they haven't done anything since on the power play. Very aggressive penalty killing by Seton Catholic. Here comes Robidoux, dipsy-doodling at his own blue line, goes by one, picks it up, flips it ahead, meant for Brown, intercepted, and Robidoux wants off as the Knights come back the other way. Ooh! Across the blue line, here's a shot, kick save made by goaltender Spatafor. Puck to the blue line, kept in at the point. They got a man in the slot, he barges his way through. Can't get the shot off though, and the Raiders come back the other way. It's Robbie Whitcup. Whitcup leading the attack, he's got Brown with him. Whitcup gets by just momentarily, then it's poked away by the back-checking forward. Now the puck squirts free. Racing to pick it up, Brian Trout along the blue lines. Wood didn't keep it in. Racing down the wing is TeBrook. TeBrook breaks in, then over skates, trying to come up with it. Flips it in front. They got a man right in front. Short side shot, and the save made. Spatafor. And Spatafor went to cover it up, and the whistle blew. A little bit of an anticipation there.
Big save just moments ago. Nathaniel Spatafor has number 23, Matt Ryan, as you mentioned, Coach Gary Ryan's son, from his left defensive position. Pick up the puck in the neutral zone. The Knights gained the offensive zone. It was a 3-on-3 break, and he kind of delayed and used the Raider defenseman as a screen and a little wrist shot. It didn't look harmless, but it was labeled that lower right-hand corner, and Spatafor had to make a nice kick save.
Face-off in the Massena zone to the blue line. Kept in at the point, bounces high slot, now poked away, and it trickles to the blue line. Pasano keeps it in, gets a shot that somehow makes it through, and the save is made. Puck in the corner, Steve Smith after it, flips it back on the other side, along the boards to the blue line, and Whitcup gets it out to, that's not Whitcup, that was, here's Converse after it. In the corner, it was Whitcup, okay. I thought it was, and it didn't look like him, but it was. Made a good play anyway. Puck in the zone. Whitcup picks it up again. Top of the circle, lost it off the end of his skate, and the puck out to center ice. Here comes Seton Catholic into the zone. They try to move it through, but Spatafor just clears it back to the blue line. Here's a shot from the point in front. Another shot and another save by Spatafor. Puck in behind. Around the boards it goes off the stick of Wood. The Raiders move it ahead out to center ice. Whitcup, head man to Brown. Brown barges through. He's got a partial break. Here's Brown in front. Shot, score! Matt Brown! And the Raiders go up 1-0.
What a shot, what a move by Matt Brown. Has the Seton Catholic Knight defenseman, number 11, Matt Dixon, on the weak side, try to intercept that diagonal pass, and he missed it. Matt Brown took it right on the tape, walked in with the weak side defenseman on his back, and he rifled a shot from about 15 feet out, up over underneath the crossbar, top left-hand side, and beat goaltender Jason Dixon. Just a great shot, a great pass, and a great read by Matt Brown as he puts the Raiders on the board 1-0. And I think that's Matt Brown's first goal of the year. What a big one.
Oh, I guess so. The Raiders take a 1-0 lead here on the goal by Brown. Off the faceoff, right back in the Massena zone and around the horn. Michaud trying to pick it up, lost his edge. Now it comes free and bounces out to center ice. Dumped right back inside the Massena zone. Wood picking it up there. Is that Francie? A nice headman pass. Angstrom takes it across. Here's Angstrom, poke checked away. Back the other way comes Rigby. Rigby stolen away. Angstrom, he's knocked down. Following up is Barkham. Barkham takes it across, has it swept away. Puck goes in the corner. Bounces in front of the net. Francia will move it. Not out of the zone, however, as the puck kept in. It flips along the boards. Raiders lead 1-0. Spatafor comes out of his net to play it into the corner. Racing for it there is Dragoon. Dragoon taken out of the play. The puck squirts free. Racing to pick it up there is Rigby. He gets tied up along the boards. Michaud in there battling for it. Squirts free in front. Back to the blue line. Bounces out to center ice. Back in again, but the Raiders are going to control. Here comes Tad Engstrom. Engstrom takes it across off. Wing winds up. Uses the defenseman as a screen. Hit the defenseman. Short side shot. Save made. Puck bounces in front. Wrap around attempt. Michaud centering pass is knocked away. They bounce after it. And that was Francia way in there trying to get a piece of it. Comes out to the blue line to the Massena zone. Brian Carroll flips it ahead for Robidoux. Matt Robidoux picking it up. He's bodied into the boards. Puck squirts free. Francia over on the other side to Carroll. Carroll flips it ahead to center ice. Picked up by the Knights. They dump it right back in, right back to Carroll. Carroll skates out of the zone. Here's Brian Carroll making the move by one, by two, across the red line. Takes it across offsides.
And just an excellent job by number 16 out there, Jason Terry of the Seton Catholic Knights, as he just forced the Raider player offside, pushed him across the blue line. That goal, Raider goal coming at the 9:07 mark. Matt Brown and Nathan Whitcup was the guy that made that great pass across there, and right on the tape, Matt Brown did the rest as he fired a shot that beat Jason LeClaire up over the left shoulder with a neat Seton Catholic Knight defenseman all over him. That's Matt Brown's first goal of the year.
Raiders lead at 1-0 on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. We're in the first period. Off the faceoff, Job after it in the corner to Robidoux in behind. Bodies flying around. There's going to be a penalty. And I think Robidoux is going to get the gate, and I think that's probably it. He's going to call him for interference. That was close. The puck was there, but it had just gone through.
And big Matt Robidoux, to make matters worse for his case, he just flattened the player, so it looked worse than what it actually was. But anyway, the Raiders are going to have to kill off a penalty, and they've been exceptional this year on the special teams, power and killing. They've only given up 5 power play goals and 56 opportunities for the opposition, an 8.9 success rate for the opposition, which is phenomenal.
Robidoux gets the gate for interference, and the Raiders will look to kill here. They're leading 1-0 on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. We're in the first period at the Lake City Stars Arena in Plattsburgh. Here's a shot from the blue line. In behind the net it goes. Carroll comes after it, picks it up, lost it. Carroll battled for it behind the net, controlled by the Knights as they move it around the horn, back to the point. Chris Wells trying to flip it to the 45, gets it right back again. Goes to the 45. Raiders in a box. Matt Job out there. Puck goes across the goal mouth. Menkes gets a piece of it as they try to take a play from the Massena playbook that time. In behind, David Park battles for it with 2 Seton Catholic Knights. It squirts free into the corner. Knights control as they move it in behind the net. Poke checked away in front. Here's a backhand attempt. The save made, and Spatafor's going to cover and hold on for the face-off with 45 seconds left of the man advantage. 3:20 left in the first period on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. It is 1-0 Massena. Broadcast brought to you in part tonight by Massena Optics, Main Street, downtown Massena. Also by Reynolds Metals, St. Lawrence Reduction Plant. Working together, their quality shines through. And by Massena Building Supply in downtown Massena.
I'll tell you, Mike Dragoon is still down on the ice. He paid the price, and a heavy price. He picked up the puck behind the net and tried to come out on the short side. He did come out, but number 21, Matt Job, just leveled him. I'm telling you, just after he got the shot off, he flattened Dragoon, and he's Mike Dragoon making his way very, very slowly to the Seton Catholic bench. He just got drilled, and I tell you, Matt Job, he is a load.
Face-off will be in the Massena zone as Mark Pasano comes out to take the draw for the Knights. Off the face-off, puck along the boards. As Rochford trying to come up with it, he got knocked down. Puck moves, Pasano looks to center, knocked away, gets it back again. He'll flip it in the corner and around the boards back to Wells at the point. He'll go on the other side. They move it around the horn, and the Raiders get a piece of it momentarily. Squirts free, but it's picked up there by the Knights. Here's the shot, save made Spatafor, and he'll hold on as Chris Roach got the shot, but didn't really get much on it.
And the Knights throwing it around really well, especially back at the point. That's Chris Wells on the left side and number 23, Matt Ryan, on the other side. They handle the puck really well. Got it down to number 17, Chris Roach. He walked in, as you mentioned, didn't get a lot on it, and there was no screen, no one there to pick up a rebound.
Off the face-off. Pasano battles for it, trying to fight his way through it. Squirts in front, and it comes right on. Now the puck goes in behind the net as Spatafor made the save. They battle for it, picked up by the Knights again. They try short side shot in front, and it's cleared to the blue line. And we have a whistle. And what's the call?
Call roughing. He's going to call, I think it's Tad Engstrom for roughing. And No question, Tad kind of objects to it, and Captain Paul Rochefort just put the clamp on Tad, said, get to the box, don't say anything, but the Raiders are going to be down 2 men for 22 seconds.
11 seconds.
11 seconds, okay, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong side. There's player 22, excuse me, but 11 seconds.
But that's going to seem like an eternity with a face-off in their own end.
Well, you can almost see that coming with that scrum in front of the goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor and all the players milling about. And
Pasano will take the face-off off the draw. Puck kept in the corner. As they move it around, Pasano skates back to the point. Here's the shot. Save made, Spatafor. Puck cleared to the blue line. Raiders get a man back. Don't clear the zone, though. It's going to come to Steve Smith. He bangs it ahead, doesn't get it out of the zone. Here's a shot right across the goal mouth, knocked down behind by Carroll. Brian Carroll with it. Has it swept away. Bouncing puck comes side of the net. Carroll gets it again. This time he finds the distance, and down the ice it goes. Good play by Carroll. Heads up hockey.
And Carroll, Smith, and Rochefort out there in that three-man defense.
Speaking of Rochefort, he steals the puck in the other end, gets tied up. Now Robidoux out there. He and Rochefort. And the puck finally comes in behind to Matt Ryan. Ryan skates in front of his own net, then flips it on the wing. Here come the Knights down the left wing side. Into the zone it goes. Here's a shot. Spatafor makes the save. Puck goes in behind. And they move around the horn. Another shot. Another save by Spatafor. As circling around getting the two different shots was Brandon Barkham.
Oh, and that first one was a scorching shot. Barkham down the left side, and just outside the top of the circle, he wound up and scalded one. And that had something on it. Nathaniel Spatafor took it high off the right shoulder. But what a shot by Brandon Barkham.
34 seconds left in the second penalty to Massena. Still 1-0. Raiders lead. 1:50 left into what's been a very quick first period.
I'll tell you, they can't stop. They don't want to freeze up.
Off the face-off. Puck clear to the blue line. Kept in at the point momentarily. Yeah, it's still in the zone. It comes to Barkham. Barkham on the short side. Centers it right across the goal mouth, and it goes in behind. They move it around the horn, looking to go back to the point to Wells. He flips it to the 45. Bounces back. Carroll gets a piece of it. Now goes to the side of the net. They try to give and go. It bounced in behind. Picked up again. We're down to 10 seconds in the man advantage. Puck comes back to the blue line. Here's a shot from the point. Save made the rebound, and Spatafor gloves that one on a kind of a rebound shot by Mike Dragoon. He didn't get a lot on it, but he did get the shot off.
And Nathaniel Spatafor holding the fort here, and a lot of traffic, and the Knights throwing the puck around. They've gained the zone and haven't given it up. The Raiders have done a good job bending but not breaking, but the main guy so far is Nathaniel Spatafor.
4 seconds left in the man advantage. And Menkes will take the face-off. He'll face it off the draw. Puck along the blue lines. Raiders clear it out to center ice. That'll take care of the power play. Here comes Menkes across the blue line. Poke checked away, back out to center ice. And it trickles into the Massena zone where Brian Carroll picks it up. I don't know, can you do that coming out of the penalty box?
He wasn't out of the box yet. He reached out with his stick. I was going to comment on that.
But there's no call. Now the puck inside the Massena zone, bouncing around as there's a battle along the boards, and finally the puck comes in behind the net. Don't tell me we have another penalty.
We got another penalty. This one hit from behind, and it's going to go against Chris Converse, I do believe.
And I didn't see it, but you got to be careful in Plattsburgh because they call it a little differently than they do up in Section 10.
Well, and they don't, when that hit from behind, there's no gray area in there, Jerry. The officials, and I agree with them, they're instructed. Anything close on that, you call. And Chris Converse took the Plattsburgh player down to our left. You could hear the thunder. We couldn't quite see it all, but no argument from the Raider bench and none from Chris Converse. A lot of times it's, we talked about it, the player turns to the last second, but the officials are instructed, you make that call.
Off the face-off, controlled by the Knights. Puck bouncing in the corner to the blue line, kept in at the point. Wells, he'll flip it around the boards. Raiders in the box now. It bounces to the blue line, kept out, now bounces knocked down in front. Picked up there by Barkham. We're down to 33 seconds left. Along the boards, Raiders lead 1-0, trying to kill a penalty. Back to the blue line. They move it around the horn. Barkham gets a shot off. It goes in behind as he had to pick up a bouncing puck. Bounces back to the blue line. They move it into the corner. Raiders trying to come up with it. Still tied up along the boards, comes bouncing in behind the net. Park gets a piece of it, knocks it free with 10 seconds left. Back to the blue line. Here's the shot through traffic. Save made, and a good one. Engstrom will pick up the puck and roof it down the ice, and that's going to take care of the period as the buzzer sounds. So the Raiders have bent in this first period, but they haven't broken. and they have a 1-0 lead after 15.
I'll tell you, 3 consecutive penalties.
Raiders' chances. They got to beat Canton, they got to beat Potsdam, they got to beat Thousand Islands all at home, and then Alex Bay on the road in the final game of the regular season. Off the faceoff, puck in the zone, stolen by Robidoux. He bounces it into the corner, looking to waste a little time. And it's picked up by the Knights, and they move it ahead and try to move it out to center ice. Raiders lead 1-0 on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. It's Dragoon across the blue line into the Massena zone. Drop pass for Barkham. Barkham trying to center it, but it's knocked down by Carroll. Off the glass and down the ice it goes. Brian Carroll with seeing eye clear.
Carroll and Park at the points, and up front, Menkes and Robidoux killing this penalty.
Raiders with 3 seconds left to kill on the penalty. And Conover steps back out on the ice as the Knights dump it in the Massena zone. Puck along the boards. Park picks it up, dumps it down the ice. That's going to be right on, so no icing. Of course, if that was an empty net, it would have never gone anywhere near it, Coach. Isn't that funny how that is? It looks like it's about a mile high. Here's a shot from Park and a save made by goaltender LeClaire. And the puck poke checked out to center ice. Into the Massena zone, right back out again. To the Seton zone. They dump it from there. That's going to be icing against the Knights. No, they called delay offsides on him. That puck came from way back, and I don't know why it's not icing. But anyway, the Raiders break down the ice. Here's Carroll with it, trying to flip it ahead. It's intercepted. Back comes Pazino. Mark Pazino in on Park, winds up. His shot is blocked. The rebound bounces right in front, and it's cleared into the corner. Pazino after it, steps by a check. Here's Pazino looking to wrap it around. He's got the backhander save, rebound, and the save Spatafor. No, is it in the net? It's in the net. Spatafor made one save, but he didn't get the second one, and the Knights have tied it up.
And it's going to be Seth Adams getting the goal, and Pazino will pick up the assist. It all started with Pazino's. He took the initial shot just from inside the blue line, hit the Raider defenseman, then the Knights knocked it in behind the net, and Pazino raced in, picked it up, walked out in front, and took a shot, and Nathaniel Spatafor made the save, but just off the crease was number 4, Seth Adams, on the right side, and he just shoveled it into the empty net, and the Knights have tied it.
1-1 tie hockey game here, 13:25 left in the period. Off the face-off, Angstrom with it, picks it up. Here's Angstrom circling in his own end, flips it ahead. Michaud lets it go for Rochford. Rochford swept away by the defenseman, Matt Ryan. Ryan picks up the loose puck and starts back the other way. Here's Ryan into the Massena zone, trying to barge his way through. It's knocked off his stick. Angstrom after it. Angstrom flips it around to Michaud. Michaud back to the blue line and out to center ice. Angstrom after it, can't quite come up with it. Goes off a defenseman's stick. Ryan back in, and goaltender LeClaire looked to cover it up and lost it. And Rochford was coming in and got knocked down by the defenseman Matt Ryan. And we'll have a face-off inside Seton Catholic territory. I think they were angling for a penalty there, but that's not going to be the case.
That tying goal coming at the 1:35 mark. Seth Adams getting the goal with Mark Pazino, and that line was so effective down in Massena. Adams, Pazino, and Brian Trout, we mentioned, they had all 3 goals and 7 of the 8 points. Well, they picked right up here tonight. Adams getting the tying marker from Pazino.
1-1 tie hockey game on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Off the face-off, Angstrom in the corner. Has a stick tied up, can't come up with it. Puck clear to the blue line, kept in. Wood trying to slip it through. It goes in behind the net. Rochford, after it, battles for it, goes into the corner. Along the boards, Angstrom is there out by the blue line. Here's Tad. Skates by a check. Here's Tad. Winds up and fired it way wide. Puck hits the back of the mesh. Rochford with it. Goes back to the shot. And that's fired wide by Wood. He hit that one on the fly. Raiders keep it in, apparently. And the puck goes in the corner to Angstrom. Left side of the goalie. Angstrom along the boards. Over skates. Gets it back again. Flips it for Aaron Michaud. Michaud battles for it with Brian Trout. Trout looks to tie it up. Michaud squirts it back to the blue line. Here's Wood, shot deflected. Ooh, and Brown got a piece of it, but it went wide. Puck in the corner. Raiders putting some pressure on here. In behind the net it goes. It's picked up there by Wood, or Angstrom, who's deep. Angstrom gets the pass. Here's Angstrom, short side, trying to go back to the blue line, and it's knocked away, and back the other way come the Knights. Here's a shot from center ice, doesn't get through. Poked in behind, picked up by Steve Smith. Smith to Brown on the wing. Brown looks up ice, flips it ahead. Angstrom, here's Angstrom with it across the red line. He'll just shovel it inside Seton zone. Puck goes in behind the net. Picked up there by the Knights to the blue line, kept in. Horan momentarily, now it's poked out to center ice. Gathered in there by Brian Trout and dumped deep in Massena territory. In the zone it goes. They battle for it. Horan throws a check. The bouncing puck comes to the side of the net. And it's picked up, shoveled in front, intercepted. Whitcup trying to move it ahead. Did he clear the zone? He didn't. Puck cleared into the corner again. Horan after it. Horan with it. He'll flip it to an open wing. Francia gathers it, flips it ahead, trying to go to Brown. Brown gets checked. The puck bounces free. And they battle for it in the corner. Still free in behind the net. That's Barkham centering back to the blue line. Here's a shot. Brown blocks it. Didn't mean to, but he got knocked down. Finally, he's poked ahead. Here comes Levine racing for it. Levine and Wells. Wells gets there first and picks up the loose puck. Goes in behind his own net. Looks to flip it ahead. Bounces to center ice. Knights back the other way. Headman pass in the zone. It's Dragoon. Dragoon just dumps it in behind the net, where it's picked up by Francia. Francia trying to slide it through. Coming back to help out is Robbie Whitcup. The puck squirts free to the side of the net. They got a man in front. Pazino shot, save made. Rebound. Here's another shot. Goes off a leg in front. And where is it? It's underneath, apparently. Pushing and shoving, and the whistle sounds as there's a big scrum in front of the net.
I'll tell you, Jerry, the referee is supposed to blow the whistle when he loses sight of the puck, and you and I have got a great vantage spot right here, and I can't believe those two referees couldn't see that that puck was covered up or lost sight of it, because we couldn't see it, but that was a slow whistle, real slow whistle, and it was just a big scrum in front, and the Knights have turned up the pressure considerably here in this second period, especially since they've got that tying goal, and we'll pick up little things, department, in the next break that we have. That whole sequence started with one little thing that the Raider goaltender did not execute correctly. We'll pick it up in the next break.
Robidoux out to face off against Pazino in the Massena zone to the right of goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor. Off the draw. Robidoux wins it. The puck cleared down the ice, and they waved the icing off. Apparently somebody must have touched it. I don't know who could have, but the puck cleared in the corner and around the boards to the blue line. Pazino, he'll dump it back to his defenseman, and the puck goes in behind the net. Picked up and around the horn it goes to center ice to the Massena line. Carroll dumps it right back in the zone, right on. Save made. Puck goes to the side of the net. Cleared around the boards by goaltender Leclerc. Picked up there by Pazino. Here's Pazino, long headman pass right on the stick and across the blue line. Here's a shot fired wide. That shot taken by Chris Roach. Puck goes in the corner as they move it across the horn. Comes to Menkes. He just bangs it off the boards out to center ice. Pazino comes back after it, picks it up, his head man, as they move it around. David Park racing for it. He can't come up with it. Puck squirts free to Carroll. He bangs it off the glass out to center ice. Bouncing puck. Here's Menkes. He's going to have a partial break. Steve Menkes busts in. Menkes takes it in front. Shot. Save made. As he cut across the grain, never lifted the puck.
Outstanding save by Jason Leclerc as Matt Robidoux sent Steve Menkes in alone from the red line, and he had all kinds of time, and he came in down the middle, kind of cut to the right, then came back across to the left, but goaltender Jason Leclerc went with him and made Steve Menkes make the first move. Getting back to that point here I wanted to make, goaltenders have to be exceptional skaters. They have to handle the puck really well. When Seton dumped it in around the boards, Nathaniel was slow coming out, corralling that. Well, we haven't got time again. We'll pick it up later.
Something we should mention, the Raiders are killing a penalty. I didn't even see that penalty. Chris Levine's in the penalty box. I have no idea what that was for. I totally missed it. So that was a shorthanded opportunity for Massena. The Knights on the power play, moving the puck around. They go around the horn, dumped into the 45, back to the point, bouncing around, knocked in the corner. Hard check thrown. Robidoux picks up the puck. He's got Menkes with him. Here's Robidoux, right down the middle, trying to barge his way through. Menkes trying to follow. He can't, but the puck comes out by the blue line to the blue line out to center ice. Kevin Horan will pick it up and flip it over to Steve Smith, and he just dumps it. Now they wiped it off. Okay. As the penalties he laughs. Here's the puck in front. Robidoux barges his way in front, trying to flip it through, but it's knocked away, and back come the Knights the other way. To the Massena line, and they dump it, and it goes up into the Seton bench, I should say, and we'll have a face-off. 8:22 remaining in period number 2. We're tied at 1.
I'll tell you, Jerry, there's something to be said about home cooking, because when Seton Catholic came down to Massena, they came away with a 3-3 tie, but basically on the performance of their young goaltender, Joel Sitkevich. But tonight, this home cooking has done them, because they've had the edge in territorial play here through a period and almost a half, 6 minutes or so, but they're coming to play tonight, and they're giving the Raiders all they want with this 1-1 hockey game with 8:22 left in the second period.
Face-off just outside. Engstrom Puck dumped off the draw, back in Massena territory. Stopped by Spatafor, leaves it for Park. He rounds the boards to Rochford. Rochford trying to flip it ahead, gets knocked away. Coming in to help out Park. The puck along the boards as they battle for it. And the whistle will blow, and we'll have another face-off.
Well, that just reinforces the point I wanted to make before. That time, as the puck came around, you notice Nathaniel got out there, stopped it, left it for his defenseman, who was able to control it and move it. The time before he didn't. When Seton dumped it in, he didn't get out there to stop it, allowed them to jump on the puck, and they kept that scenario going and all kinds of pressure on the Massena end. So they've got to get out there when there's no one to get out there and stop that puck and leave it for the defenseman.
Face-off right side in the Massena zone, off the draw. Quick shot, high over the net. Puck goes in the corner. Picked up there by Aaron Michaud. He'll drop it in behind the net. Intercepted there by Jason Terry. Puck along the boards. Now intercepted in turn by Massena's Angstrom. Moves ahead to Rochford. Rochford just trickles it out to center ice. Dumped right back in the zone to lay off sides. Francia lost it off the end of his stick. Park has to come back and circle. Here's David Park. Headman pass. Breaking down the ice, and Rochford's not going to catch up as the puck goes right in on the net. And goaltender Jason Leclerc is going to hold on for the faceoff.
Oh, the Knights dodged a bullet there again. They have a gambling defense, all 5 or 6 of them they use. The weak side defenseman likes to step up, and they read the pass, and that's great. But if you miscalculate, and that time Matt Ryan miscalculated, and he was, Rochefort had, if he could have corralled the puck, he had a breakaway from the blue line in.
Robbie Whitcup out there against Pasano off the draw. Pasano goes down, the puck stays free, barging his way through, and there's going to be a penalty as Whitcup definitely drew that one just with a lot of hustle.
That's the name of the game, Jerry. You said exactly. Robbie Whitcup drew that penalty as he just bulled his way. They dropped the puck, and he went to the net, and he wasn't going to be denied, and he beat the first guy, and they finally had to pull him down, and I think that's number 4. That's Seth Adams going to get the penalty, but a good, hard-working effort by Robbie Whitcup, and he drew that, as you called.
Still haven't seen my favorite player out here yet tonight for Seton, Coach.
Oh, Sam Adams.
Haven't seen him yet.
Sam's not. Well, brother Seth got one, but Sam hasn't been out there. And we'll explain while Jerry's favorite
Here's
player.
Angstrom off the face-off. Skates right across the blue line. Takes it in the corner now. Here's Angstrom. In behind, centers it, gets it right back again off a defenseman's stick. Comes in behind, Mankies to the 45, Robidoux. Back to the point, Angstrom intercepted and back out to center ice. Didn't get enough on the pass. Angstrom drops it to Park. David Park, back to Angstrom. Angstrom flips it ahead, intercepted at the blue line. Robidoux picks it up, takes it across. Robidoux barges his way through, takes it into the corner, sets it up, across the pass to Park. Park shot. Deflected off a body, goes to Robidoux in the corner. We're down to 50 seconds left in the man advantage. Robidoux to the top of the circle, centering pass. Angstrom can't get the shot off, and it's dumped right back down the ice. Back after David Park as Knights make some penalty-killing changes. Park and Angstrom back there. Carroll, along with Robidoux and Mankies. Here's Carroll, cross-ice pass, Angstrom. Angstrom picks it up, flips it ahead to Robidoux. Here's Robidoux busting in on the right wing side. Robidoux centers back to Carroll at the point. His shot, save made. Oh, good one, and a nice pass to Carroll.
Oh, Matt Robidoux down that right side, and he turned, and it's always the guy coming late. And Brian Carroll came late, jumping down from the point, and Robidoux hit him right in the slot. And Brian Carroll one-timed a shot. Good save by goaltender Leclerc, but just a nice play by Matt Robidoux and Brian Carroll.
Mankies will take the face-off in the Seton zone to the left or to the right of the goalie. Off the draw, puck in the corner, controlled by the Knights, and they'll dump it down the ice. Got to win those face-offs. Spatafor is going to play it ahead for Angstrom. Here's Angstrom. Circles back as he picks up a forechecker. 10 seconds left. He lost it off the end of his skate. Has to flip it ahead. Dump right back in the zone to lay off sides, but that's going to take care of the penalty. Here's Angstrom now. Feeds Robidoux. Matt Robidoux busting in on the right wing side. Here's Robidoux trying to go wide. Takes it in front. Centering pass. Bounces around. The shot right on. Save made. That was Mankies getting a good backhand shot on, but right at Jason Leclerc's chest.
But again, big 22, Matt Robidoux under a full head of steam down that right side, and he just got a half a step on defenseman Chris Wells and wheeled around him and threw the puck out in front to Steve Mankies, but he was tied up by the Seton Catholic defender. But just a great rush by Matt Robidoux.
He did get the shot off, but
not a lot on it.
Not a lot on it. Was right at Leclerc. Robbie Whitcup back out there to take the face-off for Massena in the Seton zone. To the right of the goaltender, Jason Leclerc. 1-1 tie here. on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Smith from the point. His shot doesn't get through. That had to hurt whoever it hits. Back to the blue line, back in the zone again. Raiders have to get onside. They do. Leclerc, the goaltender, will play it in behind his net. Flipped around the boards by the defense to the blue line. Horan keeps it in momentarily. Then it bounces out to center ice. Here come the Knights with a 2-on-1, busting in the zone. Centering pass knocked down by Smith. Gets it to the blue line, gets it back again, loses it in front, and the puck just goes wide into the corner past Jason Terry. He flips it free. Steve Smith picks it up. Moves it on the wing. Raiders trying to clear it out to the blue line, and Whitcup gets it to Brown. Brown trying to step by, and he couldn't quite get by that time. Puck bouncing around. Kevin Horan trying to follow up. Knocks it ahead to Brown. Brown has it swept off his stick, and back the other way comes Brian Trout, and he's just going to slide it into the Massena zone as the Knights will make a line change. Steve Smith picks it up, looks for Brown. Brown headman Whitcup. Whitcup looking, he's got his winger. Here comes Converse busting down the right wing side, makes a nice shift. Backhand pass. Brown didn't have his stick down, couldn't get the shot off. Puck bounces, Whitcup in front, short side shot. Rebound, he gets knocked down. A save made by Jason Leclerc. Another great opportunity for Robbie Whitcup. Back come the Knights, shot from center ice is wide. Bouncing into the corner, Pasano whacks at it. He doesn't get through anywhere. Raiders move it along the boards, kept in at the point. Bounces free, comes to Brown. Brown and Pasano battle out by the blue line. Where's the puck? Back out by the blue line, and finally the whistle will sound, and we'll have a face-off just inside Massena territory.
Great defensive plays, great opportunities at both ends. The first one, Derek Trebrook and Jason Terry broke away on a 2-on-1 down to our right, and just a great defensive play by Stevie Smith as he read the pass. Back the other way, you mentioned Robbie Whitcup got his shot off and looking for a rebound, but good defense when it was Chris Wells this time. Flattened Whitcup before he could pick up his own rebound. So good offensive thrusts and good defensive plays by both teams.
Off the face-off at the red line. Puck along the boards, bounces free. Rochford has it poke checked away. Engstrom follows up, flips it across the blue line. Picked up there by Chris Wells, big defenseman for Seton. Takes it in behind, looks for a wing, and moves it ahead to the blue line. Francie is there. He dumps it right back in the zone. Bouncing puck, picked up by Engstrom. Here's Engstrom, skates in front, dipsy doodles by one, gets knocked down. Bouncing puck, cleared. And out it goes. It's Chris Roach, moves it to center ice. Roach ahead. Here's Chris Wells. His shot, save made by Spatafor. Here's another shot from a sharp angle. Puck along the boards, picked up by Engstrom. Engstrom looks to barge his way through, gets knocked down. Puck bounces free. They battle for it. Rochford throws a check. Pasano picks up the loose puck. He and Rochford battle for it. Pasano steps by one and flips it into the corner. He's finally tied up by Francia. And the puck goes bouncing in front to the side of the net. Spatafor dives out and comes up with it.
We mentioned in the earlier part of the broadcast how this defensive core of Seton Catholic, especially Wells and Dubray and Ryan, how they love to jump up into the rush. And that time, again, number 30, that's Chris Wells. You've called his number a lot tonight, and he was leading that rush down inside. And Raiders kind of little out of sync down there. Nathaniel Spatafor had to dive out of his net on flat on his belly to put the big glove over it to stymie that Seton Catholic rush down there, because they were all over Massena. He knew that his team needed a line change.
Face-off will be inside Massena territory. 3:23 left in the second period. A 1-1 tie hockey game. Robidoux line comes back out. Brandon Barkham will take the face-off for the Knights. Face-off right side of the Massena zone. They're waiting for everybody to get set. They drop the puck. Won by the Knights. The shot right off the face-off is wide. Puck goes in the corner. Picked up there by Dragoon. Dragoon in behind, battles for it with David Park. Now Barkham takes it away. Robidoux back checking, picks up the puck, loses it. Now the puck side of the net. Knights throw a check, but the Raiders come up with a puck, and the Raiders move it out. Headman goes to Mankies. Mankies does a shift. Right across the blue line off sides is Matt Job. Everybody was fooled by Mankies that time, including Job.
But the good thing about the Raiders, you don't break down in your own end. And Matt Job, a strong side wing. The Raiders were having problems down below the goal line on that right side, but he didn't bite for the bait. He stayed on his good position, and when they did gain possession, he was there when they passed it up to that wing on the strong side. Good job by 21 Matt Job holding his ground.
Off the face-off. Puck clear to the Massena line by Barkham. Racing back for it, David Park. He gathers it in, takes it in behind the net. Rips it around the boards for Steve Mankies. Mankies to Robidoux. Robidoux overskates, and it's knocked away. Back into the zone it comes. David Park again. looks. He's got Mankies with a pass. Mankies headman knocked away. They battle for it. Robidoux drops it for Park. David looks for Matt Jobe. Jobe gets a whack at it, can't come up with it. Dump back in the Massena zone again. Raiders just on the edge of breaking out each time, and then there's a bad pass. Puck along the boards, Park after it, trying to flip it ahead. It's knocked away. Comes in behind the net. Comes to Robidoux. Robidoux steps by a check. It has the puck knocked away, but the Raiders break it anyway. Jobe to center ice. Dump right back in again. Delay offsides on the Knights. Puck comes to Carroll. Carroll flips it to Mankies, or trying to go to Mankies, but it's intercepted. Now Mankies has got it. Here's Mankies across the blue line. Knocked away. Gets it back again. Flips it in the corner. Here's Jobe taking a whack at it. The bodies are flying. There's going to be a penalty. And who's the penalty on?
I got to believe it's got to be on Seton Catholic.
Yeah.
Number 16, I think, is going to get the gate. Probably Jason Terry hitting from behind. Or maybe it's going to go against the Knight.
Yeah, it looks like it's 16. I think you're correct, Coach. Again, that's one of those they're going to call every time.
You talk about, Jerry, making good passes and things like, the Seton's very aggressive on their forecheck. They're rated sending 2 men and sometimes 3 down low. And if you can make that, the defenseman gain possession, make that first good pass, you've got an odd man rush right off the bat. But Seton very, very aggressive on their forecheck.
And like I said, it's just been within an inch of breaking out 3 or 4 times, and the pass is not there. Raiders on the power play here. Off the face-off, puck goes to Carroll, back to the point, Steve Smith. Smith goes to Carroll, and it goes off his stick. Knights pick it up and dump it down the ice. A little bit too hard on the pass is all. Comes right in on Spatafor. He'll clear it ahead to Robidoux. Robidoux drops it for Angstrom. Angstrom, stick handles to the red line. Takes it right across. He still got it, trying to fly it through to Mankey. Shot! And he hit the goalpost, I think. Great pass. Back to the point, Steve Smith. This time goes to Carroll, in behind. It goes to Mankies. Mankies trying to go around to Robidoux. Robidoux picks it up. Here's Robidoux trying to circle in front. Here's a chance of backhander Mankies and a save made by Leclerc. Tell you what, Mankies is getting his way in front there without any problem. Just can't get by Leclerc. Here's Mankies back to Angstrom. Winds up his shot over the net. Puck around the board. Steve Smith will pinch in and keep it in. Here's Smith, centering pass right across the goal mouth. Nobody there, and the puck dumped down the ice.
I'll tell you, Jerry, when the Raiders, a 5-man unit, when they get inside the zone, they look awesome on that power play.
Here comes Brian Carroll, lost it in front, and Spatafor is going to jump on it. Carroll kind of nonchalanted it, and Brandon Barkham was right on him.
Well, again, Seton with that 1-1-2-4 check and really aggressive. The first guy is supposed to force. He's right in your belly button, all that. And he gave the pressure to Brian Carroll. And when he looked up, the Seton defender was right there, kind of rolled off his stick. So Nathaniel Spatafor said, "Hey, we need to settle down here. Let's get a face-off, even though it's deep in our own end."
22 seconds left in the man advantage. Face-off inside Massena territory. Angstrom will take the draw against Barkham. Off the face-off, Angstrom wins it to Park, circles around. And, stolen away by Barkham. He centers it, but it's knocked away, and the Raiders break it out of there. Headman to Angstrom. Tad, stick handles, following up on the play. Michaud swept away from him. And back the other way comes the Knights. They get a weak shot off from the blue line. 3 seconds left in the man advantage. 25 in the period. Puck goes in behind the net. Carroll trying to come up with it. Goes to the side of the net. Pasano, who's back out there. The bouncing puck is tied up along the boards. The whistle sounds, and the face-off will come inside Massena territory.
Seton Catholic, no stranger to championship hockey. Were a Division I champ back in '89, and in '88 and '86 they were Division II champions, state champions. We're talking about they were St. John's in those days, but since '89 they've been down in the Final Four in 92, 96, 97, and I think, were they there last year, Jerry?
I'm not sure about that. But of course, they're the only Division I team in this section.
Well, even so, but they've got a long history.
Oh, absolutely. They used to be in Section 10, of course, or play with Section 10. Pasano will face off against Angstrom. 14 seconds remaining. Not happy with the alignment. They blow the whistle. We'll do it again here. 1-1 tie hockey game. Raiders win the draw. Comes to Park in behind. He'll flip it around. They center it, goes right in front of the net, and cleared in the corner. As they move it to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's the shot, save made Spatafor. with 2.8 seconds, almost 3 seconds left in the period.
The Raider defense have been a tower of power all year long, and they're entitled to make mistakes, and that time one of their defensemen did. He's being forced down deep in the corner on the right side of Nathaniel Spatafor. Everything is shut off on that strong side. Well, you just want to eat the puck then, but he just he backhanded it diagonally out in that slot area, and the only guy who was there was a white shirt.
Face-off will come in the Massena zone. Brandon Barkham will draw against Robbie Whitcup. Two 18s going against each other. Off the face-off, Raiders the draw. Here's the shot blocked, and out to center ice it goes. As the Knights won the face-off, it came back to Matt Ryan, but he had Engstrom right in his face and couldn't get a shot off, and he did, and Engstrom blocked it.
I'll tell you, Robbie Whitcup doesn't get his puck. About 300 kids here in the city of Plattsburgh.
And we're ready to get underway here. Pazino will face off against Engstrom to start this third period of high school hockey action. Off the draw, the puck controlled by Brian Carroll and the Massena Red Raiders. Ahead to Engstrom. Engstrom looking to headman, knocked away, and is picked up there by Chris Roach to the Massena line. Carroll, or I should say Park, can't control it. Pazino pokes it away. Carroll goes after it in the corner. He and Pazino. Pazino gets there first, flips it, makes his move, gets by, but Engstrom steps in front and intercepts the pass. He'll start it ahead. Rochford, dipsy doodles, doesn't get by, and the puck bounces back out to center ice to the Massena line. Carroll whacks at it, goes into a skate. They move it along the boards. That's Chris Wells, and he'll skate into the zone, winds up, he scores!
That hit that Longs, but that hit a stick. I think it hit Brian Carroll's stick, Jerry. Number 30, Chris Wells, picked the puck up in the neutral zone just inside the blue line. He was being pinched off, and he cranked one up, and Nathaniel Spatafor would have had it, but it hit the shaft, I think, of Brian Carroll's stick, and it jumped up and changed direction. So Nathaniel had no chance on that one. That one really did change. It jumped right upstairs on him.
So the Knights get one in the first minute of the third period, and they have taken a lead here 2-1 over Massena.
It was about a 50-footer, but goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor had no chance.
Off the face-off, puck to the Knight line. Racing after it, Matt Jobe gets a piece of it, but it's taken away by Dragoon. He flips it ahead on the wing. Intercepted there by Steve Smith. He bangs at it. Hit Menkes with it. Menkes drops it back, and the Raiders move it ahead. Jobe, he's taken off the puck. It bounces free to Wood. Wood flips it ahead. It bounces by everybody, goes to Robidoux. Here's Matt Robidoux, winds up the drive, doesn't get through. It's blocked by the defenseman, Matt Ryan. Puck bounces back to Robidoux. Jobe, his shot, save made. Thought Robidoux was going to take it, but Jobe got there first and whacked at it, and the save made by Jason LeClaire. They dump it down the ice, and icing will be called. And the faceoff will move back inside Seton territory.
That go-ahead goal, again, the Knights have struck early, as they did in the second period. This one at the 41-second mark. Defenseman Chris Wells with Mark Pazino picking up the assist. And that was about a 50-footer, but again, it changed direction on goaltender Nathaniel Spatafor up over the right shoulder in the top corner.
Off the faceoff, Robidoux to Menkes, takes it in front. Menkes shot, score! And we're tied as Menkes, right off Robidoux's win of the faceoff, takes it across and ties it up at 2.
Face-off to the right of goaltender Jason LeClaire. Matt Robidoux took the draw, and he neutralized his opposing center. And on the right side, Steve Menkes on the boards. He just skated in behind, picked up the loose puck, and went to the net, and no one bothered to pick him up. The Knights evidently playing a man-for-man defensive, but they let Menkes walk straight in. He got goaltender LeClaire down as he went across the crease and put it in the short side, and the Raiders have tied it up.
So we're right back where we started in this period.
Back to square one.
Off the face-off as the game is tied at 2 apiece. Puck in the Seton zone. Cleared around the boards by the Knights. Jobe throws a check but can't come up with a puck. Cleared to the blue line and out to center ice. Comes to the Massena line. Picked up there by Terbrook, who will just dump it deep in Massena territory. Puck in behind. Picked up there by the Raiders. They move it ahead. Out to center ice. Dumped right back in. Wood picks it up, skates it ahead, looks to headman, goes to Menkes. He breaks across again. Here's Menkes, short side shot. Menkes shot, save made, the rebound covered up. LeClaire loses it in behind, trying to go after it. Robidoux gets a piece of it. Robidoux battles for it. He gets tied up, and it bounces free to Brian Trout. Trout has it knocked away. Matt Jobe skates in, picks it up. We have a whistle.
See ya.
I don't know what that was for.
I think we're going to have a penalty here. It looks like it's going to go against Steve Menkes. Steve Menkes, just the hero a moment ago as he tied up this hockey game. His 11th goal of the year with Matt Robidoux picking up the assist.
So Mankeys picks up the penalty for what I don't know, but that'll mean Seton goes on the power play here.
With 12:47 left in the third period, a tie hockey game. Both clubs striking early in this third period.
Raiders trying to kill one off here. Bouncing puck controlled by the Knights as they start out of their own end. Here comes Chris Wells. He bangs it off the glass, going to trickle right in. Spatafor is going to cover and hold on for the face-off.
That Seton goal, as we mentioned, coming at the 41-second, and then at minute and 21, Steve Menkes from Matt Robidoux right off the face-off. Robidoux won the draw. Menkes off the boards, worked his way into the slot and beat goaltender Jason Leclerc to the short side.
Face-off. Inside, controlled by Pasano. He drops it back to the point. Wells flips it on the 45, gets it right back again, knocked away. Puck in the corner, picked up there by Seth Adams. Adams trying to circle, has it swept away. It goes to the side of the net, and Spatafor says enough of this, and he'll hold on for the face-off.
As we mentioned, second meeting for the of the year between these two clubs. The first one ended in a 3-3 tie, and the Raiders 4-2-1 in the last 7 meetings between these two, and the 2 losses, both in overtime, so let's not look that far ahead. But a very even contest here tonight, Jerry, not like what we saw down in Massena.
Face-off left side. Yeah, the Knights had to be happy coming out of there with a tie that night. Raiders look to clear it, can't do it. Now it squirts free, goes to the side of the net. Here's the short side shot, save made. Rebound into the corner. Picked up there by Barkham. Barkham trying to center it across. They move it back to the point. Around the horn it goes into the 45, stolen by Park. Park lost it off the end of his stick. Gets it back again. Bangs it off the boards. Ahead it goes, and it's cleared down the ice by Rochford, I think, is the last Raider to touch it. Racing back after it is Matt Ryan, stolen by Engstrom. Engstrom trying to center Rochford, a bouncer. He can't get the puck, and he's just going to rag it into the corner. Flips it in behind the net. And here comes the defenseman Chris Wells. Wells flips it ahead to Ryan. Ryan stops at the blue line, kind of ran into his own guy, then takes it across. Lost it off the end of his stick, and the Raiders dump it down the ice. Steve Smith. 10 seconds left in the man advantage. 2-2 tie hockey game on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Puck takes a funny bounce along the boards. Picked up there by Chris Wells. Here's Wells into the Massena zone. Has it knocked away at the blue line. Offsides will be the call. And that's going to take care of the penalty right there. So the Raiders are back to full strength.
Excellent job by that unit of Engstrom, Rochefort, David Park, Brian Carroll, along with Stevie Smith, who split half that penalty killing ship. But those 5 guys did an excellent job killing that penalty. The Knights never really got a good opportunity.
Robidoux off the face-off. Knights dump to the Massena line, and in the zone it goes. In behind the net, picked up by Smith. He'll circle out left side for Massena. Headman of Robidoux just got away from him. Picked up there by Dubray. To the Massena line, intercepted. Smith again, looking for Robidoux. He's got him. Here's Robidoux breaking in. Breaks in, shoots, and good save by Leclerc on the backhander. He fire it wide.
Oh, Matt Robidoux, what a pass by Steve Smith. Smith on that left side between his own blue line and the red line. Saw Matt Robidoux on that right side, hit him right on the tape. Robidoux walked right in, all alone from the blue line, got Jason Leclerc down, went to the backhand, and Jerry, he fired it wide. He would try to go upstairs. He had him beat, but he fired it wide.
Mankey's picked up another penalty, and again, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's the one that he had before. Yeah.
Hit from behind.
Yeah.
So the Raiders have been penalized quite a bit here tonight. And they got to try to kill another one off here. Off the face-off, puck in the corner. Robidoux after, throws a check. Can't come up with a puck, though, as moving out of the zone is Chris Wells. Wells has it knocked away, back the other way it comes. Robidoux racing for it, gathers the puck in, stays with it. Somehow he came out of the fray of 3 players. Here's Robidoux, centering pass, back to the blue line, gets it back again. Here's Robidoux trying to barge his way through, and he made one move too many, and back the other way come the Knights. Here's Pasano, he's just going to reef it in the Massena zone. It bounces into the corner, and out by the blue line where Pasano's going to follow, gets a shot up, deflected in. Seth Adams will get the goal. The shot came from Pasano, and he just deflected it in, and a power play goal for Seton Catholic, and they take the lead 3-2.
The Knights ran that puck on the left, ran it hard on the left side. It went all the way around. The Raider defender went in and forechecked, took the man out of the play, but the puck continued, came back to the right point, and Pasano, I don't think it was a shot. I thought I think he saw Seth Adams wide open on that left side, and he threw it across, and Adams just redirected it in the open net.
So Adams picks up his second goal of the game. And the Seton Catholic Knights have taken the lead 3-2 here on the power play. Here's Pasino again, trying to barge his way through. This time he doesn't make it. The puck squirts away from him. Comes to Brian Carroll. Carroll at his own blue line, just lifts it ahead, out to center ice. Back to the Massena line. It's poke checked into the zone again. Carroll will have to go after it. 3-2, Seton leading. Puck in the corner. We have a whistle. And what do we got here? I don't know where or what the call was. They gave the goal to Pasino.
Oh, well, that wasn't Pasino's goal. It was Adams redirected it,
yeah.
But on their official sheet, that's okay. But we know that Adams got the goal. He was wide open, and he redirected Pasino's shot.
No question about it. We had a good view from it here, too. Off the face-off, they battle with it in the zone. Finally, it pokes out again, backhanded to the Massena line. Back to the Massena line, it trickles into the zone. Carroll with it, flips it ahead. Raiders look to move it out to center ice. Here comes Levine, head man. Converse breaks in on the right wing side. Here's Converse, does a shift, takes it behind, looks to wrap it around. Here's the shot, save made. The goalie looked behind him, but Jason had him. Puck comes to the blue line, kept in at the point. Here's Wood with it, gets a weak shot off. Again, Leclerc makes the save. Puck in the corner. Levine battles for it again, kicks it free to Robbie Whitcup. Whitcup gets bodied off the puck. It squirts back to Matt Dixon. He'll circle the other way and then rip it in behind. Picked up by the Knights. They move it ahead to the blue line. It trickles out to center ice where Wood picks it up at the Massena red line, flips it right ahead. Across the blue line it goes Converse. Now Whitcup can't follow up. And back come the Knights the other way. Here comes Brian Trout right across the blue line into the Massena zone. Right across the goal mouth it goes. And the puck into the corner. They battle for it there, picked up by the Raiders. Here's Woods, headman, and it goes off a leg. It's going to trickle right in. And Tad Angstrom just got hauled down from behind, but there's no call on the play.
Well, I tell you, I agree with you, Jerry. And just about 2 or 3 minutes ago, Matt Robidoux broke in, and number 4, Seth Adams, I tell you, he had such a clutch on him right in front of us and right in front of the official, and neglected to call it. But 8:32 left in this hockey game. We had 2 goals through 30 minutes, and we've had 3 goals in just a little over 4 minutes in this third period.
Seton Catholic leading Massena 3-2 off the draw. The shot is blocked. Bounces into the corner. Raiders with a puck now to the blue line, to the point, and did it get out of the zone? It is out of the zone. Offsides will be the call. Oh boy, our broadcast tonight on WMSA brought to you by the members of the CCOM Federal Credit Union, by Coca-Cola, bottlers of Powerade, Massena Savings and Loan Association, by Sullivan's Office Supplies, Seaway Orthopedics, Upstate Telecom, also by North Country Savings Bank, Nationwide Insurance, and your local Nationwide agents. Off the face-off, back in the Seton zone, back out to center ice. Trickles to the Massena line. Horan is there to flip it ahead to Angstrom. Angstrom turns it around. He's got Rochford breaking. Here's Paul across the blue line. Rochford looks, gets a shot right on, and the save made by Leclerc, and he'll hold on for the face-off.
Sometimes, Jerry, hometown team gets the benefit of a doubt of a close call. I'm right on the blue line. I tell you, that puck never came out. Stevie Smith, the referee anticipated. It looked like it was going to come out. He lost it in his skates, but he was able to reach back and just hold it in. It didn't come out, but they had blown the whistle. So, again, sometimes you get the hometown cooking, hometown decisions.
Face-off will come inside Seton territory. Angstrom will take the draw. Off the face-off, Angstrom wins, or that's Menkes, excuse me. Menkes wins it, takes it behind. Lost it off the end of his stick. Back to the point. Here's a shot knocked down. Goes back in the corner. Robidoux, short side shot. And it hit the side of the net. Robidoux got knocked down. Menkes picks up the puck, throws a check, battles through the check, comes back, looks, turns, flips it in the corner for Robidoux. It's going to go by him to Chris Wells. He and Robidoux battle, and the puck in the corner. Now Job throws a check, but lost sight of the puck. It comes to Wells. Raiders putting some forechecking pressure. Puck along the boards. Doesn't get out of the zone. Now it's Smith battling in the corner. And where's the puck? It's tied up, and we'll have a face-off.
And we're right, as you can tell, we're right in amongst the crowd, and the section we're sitting in are all Seton Catholic fans.
And they're not exactly the most hockey-savvy people we've ever seen.
Well, they took a little exception to Stevie Smith. They might have to be justification because Stevie and the Seton player are tied up along the boards, and as he's going down on top of him, Stevie gave him a little welt in the back of the head, so the Seton Catholic fan said, hey.
That's hockey, Coach.
Well, not if you're a Seton Catholic fan, it's not.
Face off right side, Robidoux against Passano. Robidoux wins it. Here's Mankey's trying to barge his way through, lost it off the end of his stick. And Passano flips to the blue line. Kept in by, yes, it's in. Oh, it's out of there. Offside's the call.
That one did come out. And now that was almost as close as the other one, but that one did come out by about 1 inch. The official right there and made the call. But we're down to 7:15 left in this exciting hockey game here at the Lake City Skate Arena in Plattsburgh, New York. Knights up 3-2.
Off the face-off. Raiders win the draw. Francia goes over to Park. Park steps by the check. Here's Park barging his way through. Gets knocked down. There's going to be a penalty. And I think it's going to be Seth Adams getting the call as he just put the clutch on David Park.
Seth Adams and David Park retaliated. He came within a whisker getting a retaliation call. And boy, you can't do that, David. He's dodged the bullet as Adams brought him down and is going to call him for holding. David got up and took a little swipe at him out of frustration, but the call has been made. Massena's going on a power play here with 7:06 left in the third period.
3-2, Seton leads it on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. Face-off off the top of the circle. One to Carroll. He can't control it. Swept down the ice. Passano racing for it. Passano takes it in the corner, looking to rag the puck. Angstrom throws a check on him. Park coming in there as they battle for it. Passano goes down on top of it. And they finally blow the whistle, and the face-off will move outside the zone, I do believe. But a good job by Mark Passano.
Oh, he's been a thorn in Massena's side in both games. We talked about early on up in Massena how that line of Passano, Adams, and Trout were very effective, and boy, they've picked right off here tonight. Adams has had 2 of the 3 goals, and Passano's picked up assists on all 3 of them, I do believe.
That's right. Face-off outside the Massena zone after the tie-up. Off the draw, puck in the corner. Picked up by Angstrom. Here's Tad. Flips it ahead. Goes to Robidoux. Robidoux poke checked away. Following up is David Park. Park just reefs it around the boards. It rips into the corner. Robidoux is there to drop it back to Angstrom at the point. Back to Robidoux. Robidoux goes in the corner to Mankeys. Mankeys takes it behind the net. Circles. Here's Mankeys back to Park at the point. David Park trying to slide it through the middle. The Robidoux shot, and he just missed. That puck barely made it through, but Robidoux got the shot up. Oh, boy. Carroll gets hit by Passano. There's whistles. I'll tell you what, that was close to a hit from behind.
A couple of number 7s eyeing each other they're not wishing each other happy birthday. Brian Carroll, who got drilled by Mark Passano, and those two have played against each other up through the years, and Brian took exception to it, but he landed on the puck because the face-off is coming outside the Seton Catholic blue line. Oh, we're going to pick up Pat Angstrom's going to pick up an unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh, he's getting a misconduct. I tell you, some officials have got rabbit ears, and that guy certainly does, because in the din of the crowd here, I don't know what Tad said to him, but the official immediately right there, and I think that's a misconduct, not only the penalty.
That's a misconduct, so he's gone.
He's gone for the...
Yeah, that's 7.5 minutes.
And boy, they can't ill afford to lose him.
How they can call a penalty like that in a game like this, I don't know.
And knowing that youngster, it wasn't anything. He just must have said, hey, you missed one down there when my number 7 got crushed. But that guy, right off the bat, I can't agree with, well, again, not being down there, but no warning, nothing. And boy, Coach Ed Latham, he wants some type of an explanation over there.
There's no minor penalty on a misconduct.
No. But again, it's that they're losing the talents of number 6, and he's such an integral part of this, and so unusual for him to. Anyway, 6:13, 38 seconds left on the penalty.
7.5 minutes for unsportsmanlike. normally an unsportsmanlike they'll call the minor penalty, but no, they call them a misconduct. So the Raiders are going to have to do this thing without Tad Engstrom. Here's Park with it, has a little problem in his own end. Then he flips it ahead to Robidoux. Robidoux's going to take it in on the right side, right down the middle. Here's Robidoux, gets by the D, and finally is poke checked away. He stays with it, though. Robidoux goes back to the point to Smith. Smith trying to go back to Robidoux. Robidoux can't quite come up with it. Keeps it in, trickles out as Smith lost in his skates. Back out to center ice. That's going to about take care of the penalty. David Park right down the middle, trying to battle his way through. Robidoux follows, can't come up with it. It's cleared out to center ice. Into the zone it goes. Here comes Adams after it. He and Smith go together. Smith goes down. Adams comes up with a puck. And what do we got? We got a roughing call against Adams.
He just got out of the box, and he's making a return visit. This one might be a makeup call for that misconduct. I don't know, but Seth Adams almost sprung himself. As he came out of the box, Stevie Smith didn't know he was behind him, and he's surprised. Stevie turned around, and here's the guy with the white shirt with the puck.
But what did he do?
He went down in the corner, and he must have taken a swing at him with a stick. I didn't see it. I think that was a very, very borderline call. As I said, that's a makeup for the misconduct that was just called against Tad Engstrom.
So anyway, the Raiders with 5:23. Now's the time. They got to tie this hockey game up on the power play here. 3-2, the Raiders trail. And our broadcast on WMSA brought to you by North Country Savings Bank. Is Wall Street taking you on the ride of your life? Now is the time to open a safe and secure North Country Savings Bank high-interest certificate of deposit. Apparently, there's going to be a timeout called on the ice.
Well, the Raiders wanted to make a late change, and the official wouldn't let them, so they're calling a timeout to get that change. But
that's what the call is, timeout.
That go-ahead goal we mentioned at the 4:48. Seth Adams, his second of the night, with Pasano and I believe Wells picking up the assist. But that was a power play goal, only the 6-1 that the Raiders have given up this year.
Tony's Pizza, one of our sponsors, along with Tri-Lakes Home Medical Equipment, Nationwide Insurance, and your local Nationwide agents. Also by the North Country Savings Bank, Upstate Telecom, located in the Hardhaven Shopping Plaza in Massena. Be sure to stop in at Upstate Telecom and get that car starter, car stereo, or of course Cellular One service. Seaway Orthopedics, located on Outer Andrew Street in Massena. Sullivan's Office Supply in Massena. Massena Savings and Loan, Coca-Cola, and Powerade. By Seton, Massena Building Supply, Reynolds Metals, and Massena Optics. I'll tell you, the Raiders would love to give away a little Powerade here and a Powerade t-shirt.
I'll tell you, Jay, they've scored 15 power play goals. Matt Robidoux's got 6 of them, and boy, they'd love for him to get number 7 right about now.
5:23 remaining in the third period. 3-2 Seton Catholic leading. Off the face-off. It comes to Steve Smith, and he looks up ice. Try to go to Robidoux. It's intercepted. Here's an opportunity. Barkham shot. Save made by Spatafor.
Oh, Brandon Barkham again. We talk about reading the pass, and he read the Raider pass, and he stepped up and just outside the Massena blue line, intercepted it, walked in from about 45 feet and cranked one up. Nathaniel Spatafor was able to make the save and hold on, but a good read by Brandon Barkham.
Face-off moves back in the Massena zone after the save. Barkham will draw against Robidoux. Raiders on the power play here off the face-off. Here comes Mankey. He's had it run off the end of his stick, dumped back in the Massena zone. Following up on the play is David Park. He'll take it in and stop out by the blue line and then round the boards with it. Comes to Mankey's. Mankey's deep. To Robidoux. He'll let it go by him. Back to Smith at the point. Back to Robidoux. Robidoux back to Smith. Back to Park off his skate. And the puck kept in the zone somehow. Raiders catch a break. Robidoux out by the blue line. He'll flip it to Mankey's. Raiders caught a big break there. Mankey's goes to Carroll at the 45. Carroll goes to pass, hand on the pass, and picks it up. Drops it in the corner. Mankey's skates into the circle. Back to Park at the point. Quick snapshot deflected. Oh, just wide by Carroll. They had the right idea. Now the Knights move it to the blue line. Can't keep it in the zone. It'll trickle out to center ice. And Smith will pick it up and turn it around. Oh, the Raiders had the right idea, just couldn't execute. Carroll has it knocked away. Comes to Smith. Steve Smith has it poked away. And Spatafor comes way out of his net to play. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Now Spatafor will leave it. And it's picked up there by Kevin Horan. Raiders down to 10 seconds in the man advantage. Here's Horan. He'll lug it into the zone. Kevin Horan takes it wide, looks, circles, trying to center, but nobody there. And the puck dumped down the ice. It's going to be right on. And the save is made. The penalty is elapsed. And the Raiders are down to not too much time. Puck comes to Francia. He'll drop it on the other side. 3:44 left. Raiders trailing by a goal here in the third period. Ian Francia with it. Picks the puck up, flips it to Robidoux. Matt Robidoux down the left wing side to the red line. Here's Robidoux trying to barge his way through, flips ahead to Mankies. Mankies in the corner. Robidoux tries to follow, knocked away to the blue line, and back the other way comes Seton. Chris Roach with it. Roach takes it across, does a shift, and he and Francia both go down. The puck squirts away in the corner, and Robidoux breaks it out again. Here's Matt Robidoux, swept away at the blue line. Comes back to the zone. Here's an opportunity for Roach again, but it's taken away by Mankies. Mankies takes it in. Here's Mankies trying to drop to Robidoux, knocked away. Mankies kicks it in the corner, stays with it. Mankies with it, circles. He's got the wraparound right across the goal mouth. Where is it? Oh, if Carroll had seen that puck. Now the puck cleared to the blue line. Kept in at the point. Smith takes a whack at it, save made, rebound. Diving out on it, holding on is Jason Leclerc. I'll tell you what, the Knights have been a little lackadaisical in their own end.
Well, the old saying, I'd rather be lucky than good, and that time Steve Mankies in behind the net picked it up and came out on the left side of Jason Leclerc, fired it out front, and it hit Mark Pasano's skate in front here. You had goaltender Leclerc beaten by Amart and just rolled wide of the far post, but...
Face-off will be inside Seton Catholic territory. Rochford out there with Converse and Michaud. Off the draw comes to Park. Park back to Michaud. He'll flip it in behind the net to Rochford. Paul with the puck now, gets tied up, and the puck around the boards. That's Chris Wells. They battle for it in the corner. Bounces free, goes by everybody, and back into Massena territory. Not far enough for icing as David Park comes back after it. He's taken heavily into the boards. The puck squirts free. They battle for it there. It comes to Converse. He flips it right in front of the net, but it bounces free to the blue line. Here's a shot, save made, but the whistle sounds. And I think there's another Seton penalty.
I think we got matching minors.
Matching minors, yeah, Converse for one.
I think.
And Barkham. Yeah, Converse and Barkham. 2:17 left in the third period. Seton leading Massena 3-2.
Hate to see penalties play a big part in the deciding the outcome of a game, but the go-ahead goal has been on a power play, and the big one is number 6, Tad Engstrom, in the box with that misconduct. I don't condone saying anything to the officials, but I just, knowing that youngster, I can't believe it. It was just a boom, like you'd set off a hand grenade. He didn't waste any time, went right to the box, and as you said, he could have given him a minute and a half, but he gave him the misconduct.
Off the face-off, puck goes in behind the net. Francia picking it up. He'll round the boards with it and flips it ahead to Matt Ryan. Ryan has it knocked away. It bounces in front. Pasano score! No, it hit the post. It hit the post. I thought that was in the net.
Well, so did Mark Pasano as the Raiders came coming out of their own end. Stevie Smith had made a good move, but it went off his own skate, and it bounced right to Pasano and about 35 feet out. He just turned around at one time and had goaltender Spatafort beat, but it hit where the pipe and the crossbar meet. It hit right there and fell down, and Nathaniel grabbed it.
And the official was right there to wave it off immediately. Off the face-off, Francia in the corner, flips it ahead. Here comes Robidoux. Robidoux trying to move it to Mankies, a little bit too far. Back out to center ice. Now Robidoux. Here's Robidoux trying to barge his way through in the corner. And it's picked up there by Chris Wells. He rips it around the boards, not out of the zone. Robidoux in front couldn't get up with it, and Wells will skate it. Here comes Chris Wells with it. Takes it by in the corner. Wells gets knocked off the puck, gets back up and gets it again. Now he's tied up by Robidoux, goes down underneath him. They battle for it there. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what they were waiting for to blow the whistle that time.
Raiders and just miscommunication after Matt Robidoux, a great effort down here gaining the zone. The puck started to go toward the corner, and Robidoux figured Mankies was going to pick it up. He went to the net, would have been wide open, but Steve Mankies thought Matt Robidoux was going to go and pick it up, and he went to the net. The only guy that picked it up was a Seton defenseman. A good scoring opportunity by the boards.
I'll tell you, Chris Wells had the puck, and he had it underneath him, and he had it totally covered up, and there's no whistle. No, of course, the Raiders are poking at it, and I don't know what they were waiting for that time.
Well, I don't either. Again, sometimes on the road you don't get those quick whistles.
Oh boy. I'll tell you what, face-off, off the draw. Raiders control. David Park in his own zone. Flips it ahead for Carroll, who's up playing wing, and he takes it across. Oh, boy. Rochford just couldn't keep in the zone. Good call.
Yeah, it was a good call. It was close. I'll tell you, you couldn't put a slice of diet bread in between his skate and that blue line, but just offside. Paul Rochford, he tried to stretch that left leg back, and he's probably got that left leg a half-inch longer than the right one right now. Oh, but it was offside.
Carroll will take the draw. Off the face-off, he barges through again. This time he stays with it. The puck goes to Rochford. Rochford gets tied up along the boards as they battle for it. And finally skating out is Seton Catholic. It's Brian Trout from center ice. The shot and the save made. Spatafor clears it ahead for Carroll. He deflects it. It trickles into the minute to play. The Raiders have pulled their goaltender. The puck bounces back in front. Rabideau's shot gets blocked. Bouncing puck in the corner. Park throws a check. David Park with it. Trying to center it to Carroll. It's knocked away. Comes back by the blue line. Out to center ice. They got a man taking a shot, but he doesn't get through. Back comes Smith the other way. He's got Rochford. It's going to direct right on the goalie. He's going to cover up and hold on for the face-off.
Oh, somehow Paul Rochford got in behind the Seton defense. He was standing on the blue line. They didn't see him. And Stevie Smith, about a 150-foot pass. And Rochford just couldn't control it. If he did, he's in free. But, oh, just off his stick and rolled into goaltender Jason Leclerc.
28.9 seconds left. Seton leading 3-2 on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. The Raider net is empty. The Raiders got the extra attacker out there. Matt Rabideau, Rochford, Carroll, Menke, Smith, and Park.
I'd like to have that timeout right now, Jerry.
Oh, boy. They'd like to have number 6 out there, too. Off the face-off, Menke's to Rochford. Rochford in the corner. Raiders control. Back to the point. Smith to Park. Here's Park. His shot knocked down in front. Backhander. They battle for it. Goes in behind. Here's Rabideau. Rabideau trying to center it. Bounces free. They battle for it along the boards. Rabideau again trying to flip it free. It's knocked away. Bodies are flying in the corner. 7 seconds left. The whistle sounds. And we'll have a face-off inside Seton territory with 6.8 seconds left. And one more hurrah for Massena.
One more hurrah, and I'll tell you, the Knights are, what an effort out here. They've, we said a couple times earlier in the program, they really got outworked and outplayed down in Massena, but they've more than held their own here tonight. A great performance by Seton Catholic, and they lead 3-2 with 6.8. Takes enough time. You win that draw, and Matt Rabideau's going to take it, it looks like. Enough time to get that equalizer.
Nope, Brian Carroll's going to take the face-off. They want Rabideau pulling the trigger if they can get it to him. Face-off left side. They're getting everybody set up. 6.8 seconds left.
Everybody up inside the top of the circle except Steve Smith. He's back about 2 feet.
Off the draw. It bounces through. Here's a shot by Smith. Knocked down in the slot. They dump it down the ice. And that'll be ice. No, it goes to the end of the game. And the Knights beat Massena 3-2 here at the Lake City Stars.